Hello and welcome to your tutorial to make my version of chocolate brownies. I started making these brownies when I did the London Marathon 2024. I added extra nutrients in so that it gave me a sweet treat that I needed, but also it gave me some added nutrients to keep my energy levels going. I have reduced the amount of sugar that you would need, but we've added in the date mixture or date syrup, which gives the extra healthier version of sweetness and gives us the gooiness. So we're going to do it in a loaf tin, and it should take around 30 minutes to bake in the loaf tin. The class proved that all ovens are slightly different. Some people needed 35 minutes, but some actually were baked at 30. Sometimes it depends on the kitchen environment as to how your oven's going to perform. Sometimes we just have naughty ovens. If you decided you wanted to do a bigger batch, then I used to make brownies in this, which is just a flexible Le Creuset baking mould. It's 9 inches by 9 inches. And for that, I need double the mixture, and that takes about 35 to 40 minutes to bake. Again, depending on your oven. But today, we're just doing a lovely batch in our lined loaf tins. So I've got everything ready. We're using dark brown sugar in this because it gives it more of an indulgent taste. And I've got in here, I've got my dark brown sugar, and I have got my 2 eggs we're going to whisk up. You can do it in your KitchenAid. Some young class just used a fork, but the thing with it is we're going to whisk these up. They should double in volume. They'll go paler in colour, and we want to create like a ribbon effect on the top of it. So it takes about 3 minutes, depending on how powerful your little mixer is. In my saucepan, I have got my dark chocolate and I have got my butter. So this needs to go on, and it's just going to melt. We'll keep an eye on it as we do it. But it's just going to melt on the hob whilst we are whisking up our eggs. So we'll keep going back to that to check it. And then the other things I've got ready, I've got my date mixture. So it's nice, thick and gooey. Dates are so good for you. And so they add that natural sugar, so it reduces that huge sugar spike. Or on the class, I used date syrup. But I haven't got enough for date syrup. I shall show you. Very messy bottle, but that you can just pour. The reason I haven't got much left is actually I've been using it in a lot of my savoury cooking. It's beautiful and jelly. But the date mixture is a lot more economical, and it literally was boiling water. So 50 mils of boiling water, 50 grams of my dates. I chopped them up so they're easier to mush. Let them soak for about an hour, and then I've just whisked it up in the little food processor. So that will go in as well. Our plain flour and our cocoa ready to be sieved when we want it. And also I've got my milled mixed seeds from Yum and Yay. Linwood's is also amazing, but that is just added goodness. So we're going to say keep an eye on our butter and our chocolate. Just keep giving it a little stir. As soon as that chocolate is melted and the butter's melted, we take it off the heat. So you will just need to keep an eye on that. And then we're going to start whisking this up in a minute. So I'll just show you that is doing its magic. So I'm just going to give it a little stir and put it back. It's just on a low heat because I don't want to cook it. I don't want, if you overheat it, then it will split. And that's not what we're after. We're just after it melted. So dark chocolate is important because you want that extra chocolatey flavour. So we're going to make a start. Here we go. Right. We're going to turn on the mixer to start with. And I'll start this, and I'll stop it whilst I go and check on the other stuff in a minute. Right. Right, let's just stop that a second. Check our chocolate, still melting nicely, still got some lumps. Okay, so I know that needs longer. Right, back to this. So I've got bubbles all over the top and it's starting to combine. So keep going. On my chocolate. I've still got a few little lumps, but I'm just going to see if I can press them, just squish them. As I say, I don't want it to split. Actually, yeah. So we've now got our chocolate melted and our butter melted. And what we do with that is literally just leave it on there, just to cool down. So what's that taken? 1 to 2 minutes. So as you can see, let me just show you this. Here, it's gone a lot paler in colour, but it's not as thick as I want. And what I want to do is say, when the ribbon, we're looking for the ribbon effect, is when you lift your spatula, your prongs up, it should leave marks on there that last a few seconds. Mine, at the moment, they immediately disappear, and I do want it thicker. So we're going to keep going, probably for about 2 minutes. And all I do with mine is I make sure I keep going around the bowl. I'm not holding them in one place. It helps whisk them up quicker. So if I was to lift this up now, it's definitely thicker. It is leaving a mark on the top. Whether you can see that's thick. It is. I'm just going to give it about another 30 seconds just to be on the safe side. Right. All I'm going to do, yeah, that ribbon effect, it probably does last second, but you can just see as you pick it up, it's thicker. So let me just get rid of that one more. Yours may take a bit longer. I know my food mix is really powerful. So what we shall do now is my milled seeds go into my chocolate, and as does my date mixture. So let's get all that in there. Adding the date mixture in also allows the chocolate to cool down a little bit quicker. And we'll give that a stir. So make sure that you combine all the chocolate with everything, and it goes like to a thick paste. I wouldn't melt my chocolate and butter loads in advance, only because it will thicken as we put it in, and we want it to flow into our we want it to flow as we put it into our cake tin liner. So this chocolate mixture gets carefully poured in, and we're going to fold it in to our mixture. We're not beating it. We're folding it in so we can try and retain as much air as possible into our brownie. So I'm going to do my best to get all of this delicious chocolate mixture out of that saucepan and into my bowl. So all we're doing is, a little bit closer, all we're doing is literally round the outside through the middle. And the purpose of this is to combine it all together. So around the outside through the middle, and you'll see that still a little bit streaky at the minute, but I just want to make sure that there's no chocolate mixture left on its own at the bottom. But yeah, not beating it at all. And then just make sure that we've sieved out any lumps of cocoa. That's actually plain flour and cocoa. And it's all that whisking we've done that will give it the rise. I just want to make sure that, making sure that I've got everything in there. So tip that in and literally give it a really good stir. So again, purpose of this is to make sure everything is combined. And as soon as all your dried ingredients are combined in with your wet mixture, you stop. You don't want any flour left. Flour has a tendency to like to sit at the bottom of your bowl. But literally combining it all beautifully. If you've got any dried mixture or dried flour in that on your spatula, make sure you scrape it off on the side of your bowl and then just mix it in. And that, we have a lovely, lovely mixture. So those go together. Now we're going to pour it in to our cake tin. So here we go. And so it should flow beautifully into that loaf tin. You want to make sure you get everything out of there. The more that's left in the bowl, the less brownie you have to enjoy. I'm just going to squeeze all of that out of there. There we go. Okay. Now mine's a little bit fuller in the middle, so all I'm going to do is give it a shake, give it a wobble, and it should level itself out into your floating liner. So that goes in the oven now for 30 minutes. So just the middle of the oven, 160 degrees fan, and yeah, 30 minutes. Things you need to have ready are a cake tester or a cocktail stick and a cooling rack again. And then what we're looking for is, so we'll check it at 30 minutes. We're looking for it to see if there's just a little bit of mixture on. On the class, mine needed 35 minutes for some reason, and so did some of the others. But when you put it in to the few different places, your cake tester, if it's got loads of liquid, you know it needs another few minutes. If it's got just a little bit of mixture on, you're fine. So this goes in the oven, and then I will see you back at the checking stage. So 30 minutes, 160 degrees fan, and hopefully we have baked brownies. Okay, bye.
Welcome back to your brownie making tutorial. I am having such a day of technical issues. It is unreal. Thankfully, the baking is going brilliantly. My tech side is not. Anyway, I had tried to record the brownie coming out of the oven and what to look for. Sadly, I had no storage on my phone and it didn't work. And in between me sorting out getting rid of a load of stuff so I could carry on with the videos, husband's been back and he's eating some of the brownie. So this will look a little different to what your finished product should be. But the thing you're doing is you're looking for the brownie to be cooked but still with some moistness on there. So you would test your brownie, trying to get the cake tester out. You can test it to start with when it's still in the oven. So just open the oven door and put your cake tester in, just in a little place. And the reason I would still do it when it's in the oven is because if you take it out and it drops temperature, it can sink. So try, if you can, without burning yourself, test it. And I would test it with my cake tester at an angle. You put it into the brownie and you pull it out. If it comes out and it's all liquid, it is not ready. You need a few more minutes. I think today mine took a couple of extra minutes, so I think it was about 32 minutes. But I put it in at 30 and it was still a little bit liquidy. A couple more minutes, it's fine. So you would leave it in the tin, in the wrapper, on the cooling rack for at least like 20 minutes. If you were to go and lift it out straight away, it would potentially break. So leave it there. You can leave it in the tin to cool totally, which this has. But then lift it out by its paper on the side. Obviously mine is sliced already because we've already had people at it. But slice it, whether you do it into little pieces or whether you do it in proper slices. The thing with it, it should last about a week in an airtight tub when it's cold. If you're going to make it last that long, I would suggest storing it in the fridge. It will make it a little bit stodgier if you eat it straight out of the fridge, but it does prolong the life. So you could put it in the fridge if you're going to leave it that long, slice it and then bring it back to room temperature before you eat it. Beautiful, warm. So if you can do it for friends, then it is definitely a winner. The advice I gave on the class was that see how moist your brownie is, see what the consistency is like, and make a note of it, what it was like in your oven, because we know all ovens are different, and then you can adjust it. So if it was too gooey, give it a couple more minutes. If it's a little bit dry in comparison to how you like it, drop the cooking time down by a couple of minutes. So your preference. And I really hope you enjoy eating it. It is delicious. It's got obviously some goodness in there. It's got unrefined sugar, which is better for us. Obviously you've got your date mixture and you've got your seeds. So I really hope you enjoy this, and thank you very much. I'll see you on the next tutorial. Okay, bye.